We view the Earth from orbit as it spins along its axis. The constant twirl creates the motion of all things that reside on its face, under its oceans, and in every hollow and hole amongst creation. On the surface, or rather, just beneath it, we find a seedling comfortably cradled by the womb of the Earth, biding its time to finally release itself onto the outside. Winter's icy chains have freed the water that now runs below, with rains that provide vital resources for the soon-to-be sprout. The gentle current offers nutrients to build, create, explore, and grow. The seed begins to quiver as it cracks like an egg. The first root plunges from within to penetrate the earth deeply, and soon enough, the lateral roots extend to secure its base structure to the ground. Sinew-like projections grasp the soil to extract valuable raw materials to supply its construction. The root of the plants act as surveyors to the internal world. The world of the cold, the damp, and the dark. Forming the structure, they create the plan in order for the plant to grow, seeping the rich mineral into itself. The nourishment is quickly transferred above, where we find even greater movement as the seed coat shatters to reveal the sapling bursting forth. Its birth so powerful that it erupts from the ground to finally feel the embrace of the sun upon its stem. The sapling has sprung among scores of trees, creating row after row of mighty bark. The leaves of green reflect the sunlight all around as we see budding apples begin to slowly sprout amongst the trees of the great orchard. The orchard is invigorated with life as creatures awaken from winter's slumber. Warm spring winds toss the unfolding sprout to and fro. It learns where to bend and where to stiffen as the height of spring reaches its full potential. In hopes of reaching heights of its forebears, its roots enact well-laid plans for the tree's ascent. Clear and bright, the stem, the first leaves, and finally, the branches begin to grow the plant taller, wider, and stronger with the garden's rainwater. Soon, the roots reach into deeper hollows to muster more resources, to summon the strength of a fruiting harvest as summer is soon to approach. The apples the tree will bear are an act of benevolence from the plant. Their constant work has bestowed a great gift to imbue life. As the sun reaches soaring heights, so do the crooked joints of leaf-cradling branches expand out wide to absorb the light and heat gifted from the heavens. The start of summer has officially begun as small apples begin to fully ripen upon the branches. They are not quite ripe, but their quickening maturity brings joy to those who walk amongst the oasis. Its rays bring the power of transformation and growth to the trees, something to aspire to when the nights are long, a loving outreach from the celestial kingdom to connect all who see its glory. Much like the heart keeps the blood flowing through our arteries and veins, so too does the sun hold all in its gravitational well, holding steady court with proper authority over the heavens. Truly, the sun's movements are subtle work through gravity and the warmth we receive from it. Unlike the wind that shakes the trees and the water that continuously groans and slams against its bindings, the sun quietly goes about its business without delay. The earth spins without bumps or creaks, and the seasons come and go ever dependent on the distance from the sun's shining light. The calm, regulatory force of the sun maintains the vitality of existence. Without this force of gravity, the moon would be unable to move the tides around the globe. The sun's heat mists away water from all around to create rains that nourish the earth, and it turns the winds to carry life throughout. This is innate within our system. It is freely given to us. Without it, life on earth would cease to exist. This continuous promise of a never-ending rhythm throughout the cosmos. By day, the birds chirp amongst themselves, grasping the wind with their wings as they fly. Little children rush between scores of harvest havens. At night, smoke from a nearby fire as a family and friends gather to tell tales of their lives. Young and old, love penetrates inside their hearts as the small sea of smiles nourishes the ages as they share in camaraderie. Soon enough, the sun has reached its summit, and with it, the rains and storms bring their heaviest fall. When the clouds part, major heat spreads through the grove, gifting the trees with life as summer grows late. Ceremony brings meaning and thus connection to our lives. Oftentimes, a ceremonial act is also a community act, bringing us together in the form of ritual, blowing out the candles on a birthday cake, the lighting of a bonfire to start a party, and the lighting of a jack-o'-lantern to scare away the demons while we huddle in the coming of darkness. All of these create a connection to the season and the world as they mark the passage of time. These things remind us of where we are and who we are with. As you age, you realize that those from years past may not be with you physically anymore, yet you carry their spirit with you always, a little piece of their warmth. A party to celebrate the height of harvest will soon be in full effect. The music of the earth sings from the bow of instruments of crickets. Even the occasional night bird or bat chirps and cheeps through the darkness of night. In the morning, many tables are laid out as banners are erected. Summer is coming to an end, but the fruits have ripened to their fullest. The people gather to sing songs of passing days, to commemorate their loved ones, giving thanks to those who come before and those yet to be, receiving the fullness of the supreme unity amongst kith and kin, strengthening the foundations upon which they have built their lives, to offer and support, to integrate the days that have passed, and be given the gift of nourishment for the hard days ahead. Some leaves have changed from vivid greens to beautiful yellows and oranges. Children run through piles of sticks and leaves while adults gather the final harvest, collecting the juiciest, ripest apples to be shared amongst the collective. The earth acts like a large stomach, slowly churning the rot into itself, taking in what is handed and offering unto itself a new creation. The bugs, fungi, moss, and microbes act as though they lie within the intestinal tract, slowly breaking down substances to disseminate the flow of energy down the gradient of life, extracting the needed materials only to leave the remnants for the next scavenger to take their fill until there is nothing left. Then, birthing new life that continues to flow out from the crust to sustain the cycle. You see, this is the job of the earth. It maintains the foundations of our world, the ground we walk on, build our homes, and find comfort in when the sky seems to fall towards us. It is the interface of all our reality. Without it, fire cannot sit, water cannot abide, wood will not grow, and metal cannot find a home. Laughter and cheer, shout and song have all disappeared, now as the winds bring cold and white dew across the meadow. The arrival of fall has brought with it the last chance of survival. A few small creatures run under gray skies to gather what has not been harvested in order to push through the harshness of winter soon to come. The once fruitful fields have lost all their luster. Leaves, sticks, and apples ungathered have fallen to the earth. We view the choices left behind just like the apples strewn on the floor without rhyme or reason. Paths not taken, fruits not plucked. It seems like such a waste when viewed this way. In one's lifetime, we pass by countless fallen harvests, fruit fated to sink unto the earth beneath, seemingly wasted by time as we move on without them. Yet the earth takes this gift gladly. These apples still have much work to do. What we do not gather now, we may still reap in the future. This rotting crop are examples of the roads not taken, friends lost, threads left loose, and abandoned dreams of who we believed we were to be. All this decay will lead to new life as the earth takes it within to create beauty, reclaiming them as their own. The husk will be reabsorbed and given to others to use, to grow, to change, to continue the cycle. Do not weep for the fallen apple, as this shows us the preciousness of life. For now, they begin their journey to the source, and yet they wait. Harvest and growth have been brought to a standstill. The frozen water brings a great leveling, a cleansing as the last rot comes to be swept clean as cold rains wash them away. Slowly, the water stops running, instead hardening into ice and sleet. The snow falls to cover the apple acres in serene powder. Silence takes over the land as creatures slumber, conserving their resources through harsh times, drawing on reserves gathered during the fruitful months of the year. Seeds hold fast underground. In this dark abyss, they grow still. But the current of life runs through. Within the seed lies all that is needed to create and grow. The depths of their being, the outline of what is to be, the ability to reach unto the heights of heaven all rest within this small space, an illuminated essence seated within the darkness, soon to rise like a great shuttle above the surface. In this place between life and death, the will to determine their future resides, the strength to endure through the harshness of life, to grasp the air and to breathe fully into existence, to flourish despite an uncertain world, to grow without fear of their reserves diminishing before their time. Gathering all the elements around to prosper through desperate measures, and to celebrate in the heat of life. Perhaps that is the secret benefit of water, slowly recollecting to redisperse itself into new avenues. Sometimes you have to withdraw. Sometimes you have to reform. Find the courage to break away from what you were, only to find new land to take root in. Taking the earth and moving it to a new place where it may just blossom flowers and fruit to nourish the lands. In the end, all rivers and streams make it back to the ocean. Some water may be misted by the sun to collect in the heavens as rain, but one day it will flow back into the primordial waters where all life began, the great source. Even now, we arrive back where we started, a simple seed, held in the darkness, cradled in the arms of its Mother Earth. Its time soon approaches. As the waters above begin to flow back down below, we find the seed begin to shake once more. The cycle will soon start again, and the course of nature will unfold.